Failing to ask these three questions will prevent your midterm rental insurance business from growing 10x. These three questions are so critical that if you do implement them, you will be able to grow your business. So what are these three questions that most people often don't ask in this space that prevent them from being able to get repeat business over and over again? I'll tell you in a second. And the reason why the title of this video is called How to Win Conversations with Relocation Specialists Using These Three Questions is because it goes back to the fundamentals of a great book called How to Win Friends and Influence People while integrating the three verticals that are most important in a business. So before we start, here they are. Number one is a marketing question. Number two is an avatar question. And number three is a relationship-based question. Again, that's marketing, avatar, and relationship-based questions. And these questions are so simple that they should be asked right from the beginning to level set, to set the tone of the relationship you're going to build. And they do not have to seem unnatural. They're rather very natural. So let's start with number one, the marketing. When a relocation specialist reaches out to you with respect to the medium, if it is an email or if it is phone, the two are very important. If it is email, it's most likely that you entered your name or your property's information into a database. Now, how does this tie into the entire picture of what midterm rental insurance space is about anyway? Well, let's just take a step back. The midterm rental insurance space is a space where there are multiple temporary relocation agencies that work with insurance companies like the State Farms, the Allstate of the world. And those temporary relocation companies have databases so that when a homeowner who is a policy holder has an unforeseen event happen and files a claim with their insurance company, the insurance companies are not the ones looking to displace the family. If you're currently getting value from watching this video, you'll want to make sure you take a second and click below to grab the midterm rental insurance blueprint to help accelerate your process in being able to land these midterm rental insurance contracts with respect to your marketplace. Make sure you click the button below and grab it and continue on with the gems in this video. So these temporary relocation companies have databases, they have relocation specialists, and they're the ones that find a new home, a new temporary housing solution for that family. As a matter of fact, the coined term ALE stands for additional living expense, and a lot of the companies that you know use that terminology to then be able to fund how that family is going to be able to relocate. Additional living expense comes from the funds that a policyholder pays every time they pay their mortgage. There's a premium that goes towards home insurance. So with that said, when they are displaced, these relocation companies have one of two things. They have a database where you can enter the properties that you own or manage or arbitrage into their database so that when there's an unforeseen event in a specific area, they can go to their database and look and reach out to you. So if you do get an email, it's most likely they came from there, checkbox. But if they call you because you know better and you've been watching this content, you understand of all the different areas where you can exist so that they can find you. So when they do call, when they do reach out, I'll focus on the calling because you know that when they call, they could have come across your content or your property from multiple different places. So you start with the marketing question 101. Hello, may I ask you speaking, etc. You get the name, etc. Thank you so much for reaching out. May I ask where you received our information from or how you were able to find us? Marketing question pillar 101. You want to know in marketing what is working for you and what is not working for you. Because whatever works for you, guess what you do more of. Now, disclaimer, if you get this is a Zillow lead. Before the beep, before they even pick up, you know that came from Zillow. Maybe you can omit that question right away and be like, the Zillow worked. But when they call out of the blue and say hi, sometimes they might say, they always introduce themselves and tell you who they are, from which relocation company, etc. Right? It takes a second to click. I'm like, oh, this is money on the line, right? This is an opportunity on the line. But once you do identify that, do not forget, because it's happened, right? You can get excited. Ask them, maybe even at the end of the call. Hey, by the way, before we drop, may I ask where you found our information from? Oh yeah, a colleague. Huh. That means the colleagues are talking about us. That means maybe I give a call to action in my email. Maybe it happened organically. Now you might ask the question, do you typically share information with your colleagues and how do you do so? It's important to find out how they talk to each other, what they're saying, how often. Get the marketing question out of the way ASAP. Now, this one is just as important because this is when you start building a relationship, the avatar. Now, what is an avatar? An avatar is your ideal client. And in this case, our target ideal client, as much as it is the family, it is just as much the relocation specialist, because the relocation specialist is the gatekeeper. They're the one that speaks to the insurance company or the adjuster, at least submit our proposals. Once it gets approved, they'll let us know if we got approved or got denied. They're also the one that speak to the family. They are also, and here's why I've talked about this, I've discussed this on my content and other videos. It's so important that we focus on them because they get the most volume, because it is what they do for a living. They wake up and guess what they do? They serve families looking to relocate, or maybe individuals. It doesn't have to be families, right? But that's what they do for a living, and therefore it's in our best interest to get in the forefront of their daily activities and get in the flow to assist them, to be an aid to their needs on a day-to-day basis. The second question, the number 2 question, number 1 was the marketing. Where did the source come from? Number 2 is, what is the best way for me to help you displace more families? That question is asking them how you can be of help. The most effective way, you can even piggyback that. What is the most effective way that you find homes, that you find property owners like myself? And the reason you're asking that question helps you understand their process, their pain points within the process. So whatever they're doing more of, very similar to the marketing. It's kind of like their marketing question. The reason they keep on doing something is because it works. So you ask them what it is, how you can be more of help, and they're going to tell you by default the way that helps them find the most success. So if they have the most success finding people in the database, they're going to tell you in the database. They're going to say you find most success finding property owners on Zillow. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to list your property on Zillow Rental Manager. Because at that point, when you ask that question, you might just get an answer you are not expecting from. Remember, we make decisions based on the paradigm that we're operating from. So it's in our best interest to have the ability to have that paradigm shift occur, so that we might be able to just get in the way of their flow, get in the flow with their flow. So it's in our best interest to ask the avatar pain point. When you're marketing to an avatar, you don't market. There's 2 things you can do. You can market to the desire, you can market to their pain points. And when we ask that question, we get a little bit of both, because they might tell us their pain points in the process. You might follow up with that. By the way, what gives you heartburn? Oh, I reached out on Furnished Finder and I never hear a peep. Okay. How are you reaching out on Furnished Finder? I do a tenant lead match, or I do a message, but people don't respond. Well, how are people responding? Through the portal, which is annoying because when they respond through the portal, it comes in through this disguised email and I don't even know who the homeowner is. Oh. So what would you prefer? Person on the other side that I'm trying to become best friends with, so that I can help as many families get displaced and get paid a premium and increase my profitability and occupancy, right? That's your avatar. Understand their pain points, understand where they're coming from. And now, one of the most important things you can do, the exact same thing you would do on a first date, if it goes well. You should say, and a lot of people fail to ask this question, should we do this again? The third pillar is the relationship. Would it be okay for me to periodically follow up? And if so, how? Because the last thing I want to do is spam you. The last thing I want to do is interrupt you in the flow when you're making your calls. The last thing I want to do, use one of their pain points. The last thing I want to do is fall within your spam box. Or the last thing I want to do is bother you when you're helping families on a day-to-day basis. Use what they just told you, so you let them know that you're listening to them, and then ask for permission to be of help. Ask for permission to, how do you continue the relationship? How do we do this again? How should we do this again? Is it best if you reach out to me? If I reach out to you, by the way, is it okay if I periodically reach out to you? By the way, how often should I reach out to you? Is it okay if I reach out on a Monday? Is it better if I reach out on a Friday? Get the data. Ask for permission. Ask for permission. Get the data. Marketing question, avatar question, relationship question. Think about the importance of these 3 pillars to accelerate your ability to build your book of business, because the relationship, you could even write a book, How to Win Conversations with Your Relocation Specialist. These are critical components that you need in order to be able to continue to move forward. As I'm looking at this, I'm thinking of creating an acronym to help you with the need. And so as I'm looking at this, think of MAR, M-A-R, MAR, right? Marketing, avatar, and relationship. MAR. Let that be the reminder as you're on the phone with them that you need to have a marketing question, an avatar driven question, and a relationship driven question. You do those three things and your business in the midterm rental insurance space will grow and grow and grow. And that is how you're able to 10x your results in your business. Make sure you do this. Remember, you're only one relationship away. You're only one experiment away. All right. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you got any value from this. And make sure you grab your midterm rental insurance blueprint that can help you increase your profitability and occupancy regardless of the time in your marketplace. We'll see you next time. If you got value from this video, make sure you check out one of our other videos called the Midterm Rental Insurance 101, Things You Don't Know About Relocation Specialists.